Hello guys, good afternoon. Welcome to our December 14 episode of our stock market insights. And I'll just invite a few friends so that we can start right away. For those who are already here, please do send your request, drop a comment so that I can review your requests right away. Okay. Good afternoon, Trinidad Alexander. Okay, good job for being the first to drop a comment. Okay, so we are going to talk about PHA and MRC. Let me check that for you. Okay, so this is a good story for PHA. We have already bounced, and let's check for some news here. Okay, one moment. Okay. So this is a bounce for PHA, and notice your low here is already at a much higher level. So this is what we call a higher low. So and foreign buying also shows here that we have 11 no 100 11,000. Okay, 111.10k for foreign buying. So that means foreign investors are already showing interest in this stock. So this is already a good area to start accumulating volume. You can start entering this stock. Let me see overall. Yep. Now, if the market gives you a chance around the point, let's see, around 0.41, even better. This is the support that we want us to observe. Okay, so that's the support that I want us to observe. So just in case you have some rejection that will happen here, then at least you try to wait for it in this level, or let's see, anywhere from that point, how far is it from the support that we have created? Well, that's already 5%. So in case, let's say the market gives you a chance anywhere here, yeah, or here. It's an area, guys, take note. So that area would be a tolerable area to enter at. Okay, but definitely we now see some positive signs for PHA. MRC, good afternoon, Wiki. Hi guys, ISM please, thanks. Very good. I will definitely look into ISM. So for MRC, good job. I feel that this is because of the latest transaction that they had where they will be providing sand to this company. I was not able to remember the company anyway. Let me just open that on a separate window. They are news here. Let me just open that really quickly. MRC news here. So mentioned here in the material information transaction from the PSE Edge. We would like to inform the exchange that MRC has signed a sale and purchase contract with Shining Star Ningbo Import and Export for a delivery of sand. Under the agreement, MRC will be delivering Shining Star a natural river sand in bulk in sand from a potential seller. So the contract will be effective for 5 years. The company will have a gross revenue of 760,000 US dollars for every shipment. So that's a good sign. That may have caused the significant increase in the price of MRC right now. So we currently have a resistance at the MA20 line in the area where it stopped. So just in case, traders will take profit and give you a chance around the 0.20 level. I would say it is already a good time to enter this stock, as we now might be facing, right, a reversal, and this is already a start of the bounce that we have been waiting. Okay, so if you want, you can enter in a small volume at a time. When it crosses the MA20, probably you can enter one and then observe the action from there. Because currently the MA20 is around, yes, 0.21, 0.219. So we're sitting at the MA20 exactly. So let's talk about ISM. ISM is still, well, this is not a good for the past week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the entire week has been very bearish for ISM, and the support that we see here is 3.35. Okay, now I would have to say let's wait for another, although your RSI here is showing already positive signs. I know the market sentiment is still very bearish for ISM. So if you would like, you just be conservative, and if you want, because I see a support building up in the area where it is at right now, so you can enter around 3.35, and then when we see some more bearish movements, just have a mindset that do execute your stop loss areas if in case this negates our assumption that it will already bounce, considering that it is currently creating a support at the 3.35 level. Okay, foreign buying is already happening for ISM, and guys, this is for long term. For those people who have entered in ISM because you see the potential of it being the third telco. Of course, it is the third telco. You will really see the significant improvements in the price when they're fully operational. Okay, so also let's check their news. My app does not allow me to open another window, although you see it here. When I open this, it will not allow me to display it. So I'm looking at the news on a separate window. There's a comprehensive corporate disclosure on backdoor listing. What is this? So long, but let's see. I will probably drop a comment here later on. Number of shares. Okay. Okay. This disclosure was ultimately superseded by the disclosure dated December 10th, 2019. ISM Communications Corporation will change its name to Dito CME Holdings Corporation instead of Udena Holdings Corporation. The increase in authorized capital stock to 700 so million billion 75 billion pesos divided into 75 billion shares at 1 peso per share is also superseded by the increase in authorized capital stock. Okay. All right. So they've circulated more shares. If I understood this correctly, they increase the number of shares for the public, and that will bring down the market value of per share to 1 peso. That may have caused the a significant drop in the price because now it will be at 1 peso per share. um, so this is really going to be difficult for most of the people who are in ISM, as uh, the number of shares floating is really going to be massively high. But then again, we can never tell, right? When they become fully operational, we don't know the big potential of this company. The third telco, they will have more subscribers, and they will even have, yeah, they will have more subscribers, and the speed that they've been promising the public when they applied for the third telco. So we'll see how the big players will react to that, and of course the public. Now, if they will have more subscribers, then definitely this 1 peso is just a stage. It's a phase. People feel if the people feel that the value of this stock is really more than 1 peso, it will just push the price higher. Okay, see that? For now, what I can see, there's foreign buying that's happening or that took place yesterday. This one. Okay, so just observe, guys. Definitely, if you want to enter in this support that we have created, just be mindful of your stop loss levels. Okay. I personally have ISM, so and I know my mindset when I entered that. And yes, I'm on a negative because it really declined significantly, but I don't really mind because number one, I managed my expectation. Number two, I managed the size of my entries, and it's fine for me because it's for long term, right? Next, let's talk about the other stocks that we have here. Let me just jot that down because I will put this later on in my thumbnail so it's easier to track. So we talked about PHA, MRC, ISM. Okay, let's now talk about the other stocks. Let's talk about the highly talked about stocks in this week's market. I I'm going to MPI. MPI. Okay, so this is a, let me just remove this. MPI is showing us some good signs, but guys, based on how we practice our Bollinger Band strategy, remember this last Thursday's candlestick, it landed outside of the Bollinger Band. While it's true that this is now showing some signs, positive signs, we're still lower than the highest point here. So what we want to see is hopefully in the next 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, the next candlestick should be higher vertical line. No vertical line? Anyway, I'll just draw. It should be higher, okay? Something like that. At least. Okay, so that's our sign when we have a candlestick that ends much higher than this red candlestick, then we now have a bounce. So just observe that, but definitely the volume of Thursday's performance is just the exact volume of last Friday's performance. So I'm thinking that in terms of sentiment, people feel that we are already at a very cheap level for MPI. Okay. The next one is AXLM. AXLM, I am not. I don't feel good with the way it looks right now. I would have to say the bounce that it made last December 11th is just a temporary bounce. It did not sustain. So this is a bearish candlestick. So this is what I am seeing. So it will go do like this, breathe a little bit, and down some more. Something like this. This is what happened here. So I would have to say, just wait for, let's see if when the price hits this level, yeah, over here, let us see if it will create a support in that area. But if it breaks that 2.59, then we're not safe. It might continue to go down. Okay, so anyway, we're looking at these stocks every single day. Just join me in my live sessions, and then make sure to drop a comment for this stock so that we will not forget about it. But definitely, we want us to observe at 2.59 and see how the market moves when it reaches that level. Okay, so that is NPI and AXLM. Okay, the next stock is MWC. Okay, these stocks are these are the stocks that were very badly beaten because of Duterte's eyes are on them. MWC. We're still very bearish, guys. We're still outside the Bollinger Band. Notice that. So I'd have to say we stay away for now. We don't see any support yet formed in the area. Okay, so let's wait for some more signals. Overall, this has been a decline for almost the entire year. Yeah, the entire year, in fact. And let's just wait. We're already at the oversold, but mind you guys, you can stay in an oversold area for quite some time. And all we needed to do is wait for that support to be created, and then we plot it. For now, stay away. The next is PIP. PIP. Okay, interesting. Looks like it's trying to build a support in this area. Okay. For those momentum traders, probably they can play this, but for me, being a position trader, this is not an area where I want to enter at. But definitely, if you want to give it a try, maybe it can create a brand new wave. But I would have to say the 2 days worth of candlestick is not enough for us to say that this is a strong support. We'll see if it will consolidate, and then that's the time I can say that okay, you have a much stronger support now. But concept wise, normally a stock would revisit uh, the gap and fill the gap, but we don't know exactly when will that happen. But there's a big chance, right? There's a big chance, especially if you don't have a lot of volume, because only then when you don't see a lot of volume, you can easily say that these or this particular stock is just being moved by a handful of people with deep pockets. When you say deep pockets, these are people with a lot of funds. One transaction they can put, let's say, uh, 50 million, and then it can increase significantly. It can increase the price, right? Look at this volume 32.35 million. Rich people can have that. They can even do this in one transaction, right? And the scary thing is if they sell their or release their position, all of a sudden you will notice a significant drop. Okay, so just be extra careful. If you have already gained profit because you entered somewhere here, I think you need to manage your expectation as well. It's already a profit, might as well lock in some profit. Okay. The next is so we talked about PIP. What else? Do you have any requests? Right now, I'm just looking at the highly talked about stocks. So we talked about ISM. Let's talk about JFC. Of course, I have JFC. JFC has triggered the upper Bollinger Band, so which is very good. I would have to say, yeah. Hold on. I just need water. Please water. Oh, you can clean now unless you're okay with me to clean here. Yeah. I just need water. And the other stuff that I need as well. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry about that. I'm currently in Singapore and I'm staying in a hotel. I'll be here for a month. So the cleaning lady is in. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so we have triggered the upper Bollinger Band for JFC. So this is really good news. And same story, when you have a candlestick landing outside of the Bollinger Band, which happened here, right? Chances are it will continue to go down. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'll just be here. Okay. So it will, I see the same pattern here. So chances are it will continue to move up, and on a short term, the next resistance that I see is, yeah, this level. Okay, that's the next area that we need to check out, as hopefully we break that resistance. Now if I see some um, signs of weakness based on the candlestick pattern, then I will say, okay, most likely that will rest for a while before it continues its uptrend. Okay, but overall, the market has given us an opportunity to enter Jollibee at a cheaper price. This is a company that I'm not scared to see dipping once in a while, because definitely it will just go back. Okay, VLL. Let's talk about LHC wiki right after this. Oh my goodness, what happened here? So as you can see, significant drop in the price. Therefore, I don't really recommend it. There might have been a trigger here. Let's see what was the news all about. News. No, no other news. So I just want us to be extra careful with this. Okay. The next support that I see is not that far, but just right here. I'm sure with this very drastic drop in the price, you won't have any big moves, something like this, and then it might just consolidate in the area. But of course, it's still the market who dictates the movement. You might have something like this before it bounces up again. Okay, you are now at the oversold area, but then it's not enough. Okay, let's talk about LHC, and this is for Wiki. Okay, so this is almost the same outlook that I have in the previous talk. So significant drop, okay, significant drop, and now it is consolidating within the area. Now I see that we have already created somehow a support in this level. Now actually on the past 2 days it landed much higher than that, but that's already a good sign. Slowly we are gaining momentum before it moves back up again. So if you would like to enter in this stock, make sure you do some test buys only within 3.04 to 3.08 area. Okay, you had your previous resistance over here. Resistance, resistance. Okay, had some resistance as well. So previous resistance, because we moved up, it will now become your support. See that. The next one is SPC. SPC. Okay, let me just open the door really quick. Okay, sorry, yeah, it's okay. Okay, so SPC. Uh-huh. We have a resistance, previous resistance here. Okay, so it might create a support in this level, and let us see if it will create a solid support in that area. There's also a dividend play. X date is December 5th. And I think that's done. December 5. Okay, so observe what happens around 7.62. we have to check and see if it will sustain in that area, okay? Otherwise, we are going to see the next possible support at 7.38. 7.38. There you go. So at least you have two key areas to watch out for. Okay? 7.62 and 7.38. The next is, and that's for SPC. Okay? Alright. Let's continue. And that's for Wiki. It's okay, thank you.
Anything else, Sheila?
These things. No need to tidy this up. Those things.
This one is it?
Yeah, everything, and then the shampoo.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's continue. SMPH. Let's talk about SMPH. Okay, so we created this line, which was your previous resistance. Now that will be your support.
Can I just release from phone? Release.
You need
Yeah.
full
Just
call.
release only. Yeah. No. Release only. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Alright. So now we have this support that we created, the yellow line that is. So this is the next resistance that we are seeing for SMPH.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And that is a resistance. Okay, so let's observe on Monday. Let's see if it will break that resistance. Okay, the reason why we said that was a resistance is because of this. Okay, and then you also had several days where you have the price touching the same area, so it is now trying to break that ceiling. Okay, as always, if I would describe a resistance as your ceiling, and the market is trying to push it higher until it breaks. Now I would have to say do not enter yet unless you see a confirmation. So a confirmation would mean you have a price starting at this level much higher and then ending at a much higher price as well. Then only then we can say, okay, we have broken the resistance, and it will create a brand new wave. Okay, chances are you'll have something like this. Okay. Yep. Sometimes it consolidates for several days before it does that. So those are the patterns that we see. That's for SMPH. The next is all stocks. Let's go through this one by one. Are you able to see my screen? Oh, by the way, give me a few seconds, guys. I will just share this in our Facebook page. Hi guys, we are live. We are live in YouTube. Hope you can join me there. Join me there. Okay, just inviting our friends in our Facebook page. By the way, if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do subscribe. And I really appreciate it. At the same time, we are also in Facebook. Our page is Invest in the Stock Market. Okay, so let us continue. For those people who have not entered their request, just feel free to drop a comment so I can also review yours. Okay, so we talked about MPI. Now we'll talk about BDO. BDO, as I can see here, is sitting at a resistance level. Why did I say that? Price consolidating in this level, and for several days the price has touched the same area. So we still need to observe, if you see a bearish candlestick tomorrow or on Monday, so this red candlestick here is bearish. Another bearish candlestick. That's a sign of weakness. This is a bearish candlestick, okay? When you see another red candlestick forming on Monday, then I would have to say it might rest for a while, and the next area to watch out for is your MA20 line. MA20 is a very I'm looking for the right term. It normally happens where we see price resting or price doing a correction and landing at the MA20 line. Okay, so it's a very common pattern. Look at this. Increase, rests, and ends at MA20. Another wave ends at the MA20. Much lower increase, and then it also ends this time around the lower Bollinger Band. So these lines are very significant. These are areas of stop or areas of bounce wherever it is moving at the moment. Okay, so always take note of the three lines. They have a role to play in the movement. So next, so as I mentioned earlier, watch and see if we have a price starting much higher than that, then we can say it broke the resistance area. If you see weakness, it might drop here, and we have to observe still, because what if it breaks? See that? But since this is a possible area of bounce, you can also have something like that. So there are several possibilities in this scenario. But the main story is wait and see on Monday, because we are now sitting at a resistance area. All right? I see that we have more people joining. Good afternoon, you guys. And if you have a request, feel free to drop a comment so that I can recognize as well as prioritize your request. Right now, what I am doing is I go through all the stocks from top to bottom, from the highly traded ones, and work my way downwards. Okay, so welcome everyone. Please do subscribe to Miss JD so you're always updated. Okay, now let's talk about Ali. Ali over here has crossed the MA20 line, which is again a very critical area to watch out. So the previously we were trying to break that. We were moving below the MA20 level, so each time it touches the MA20 line, so my blue line here is an MA20. Each time it touches the MA20, we're having some challenges. That's why it keeps on bouncing downwards, right? But eventually, we had a good start last Friday, and I would have to say now your previous resistance will act as a support. Chances are, and you're also very near the resistance. Okay, this is the short-term resistance that we have here. Okay, your previous support will now act as a resistance. So chances are, if there's weakness, it will go back here and then will challenge your resistance again, and then hopefully breaks it. You see that? But wait and see again tomorrow. If it breaks that line, price starts higher than that, then we should be good. Then we can say that we now have a brand new wave. If not, it will go back to the 45.28 level. I talked about MWC, very bearish. Do not enter yet. JFC, we're already triggering the upper Bollinger Band, so that means you might see some more bullish movements or a bull run for JFC. Next area of resistance to watch out for would be the 233 level. ICT. ICT is another good story. We have started to trigger your upper Bollinger Band. Now, your previous resistance is in this area, and the reason why I say that, okay, for those people who are still having some challenges plotting their support and resistance, just do this. From the current price, screen it downwards while looking at it from right to left. Okay, this is the right, we screen to the left while you move downwards. Okay, move downwards, screen to the left. Do you see consolidation? Yes. Over here, being a resistance, and previous support. Okay, very simple concept. When you move down and you see consolidation in an area, that's a key area to check. And we see here previous resistance now becoming our support. So because the reason why I said that it will now become a support is because we have triggered it. We have landed above that line. So it might go back. You might even have a few days of much higher candlestick. Then of course it will rest because it's not forever that it will go up. It might rest and then revisit the area and then it continues to go up. See that? AC. For AC, guys, this MA20 line is so strong. It respects the MA20 line. It acts as your resistance. Resistance over here, 2, 3, overshoot a little bit. Okay, so that is a resistance, but let's check. We have several waves, and in an Elliott wave, if you can just study that further, normally we have around 5 waves, and this is already, yeah, we're meeting that. And let's see. And when I say you have 5 waves, that means once it hits a support area, then we might have an official bounce, and it will now reverse its direction. So look at this. Let's check first. Do you see? Okay, your RSI is now giving us some bullish divergence. And when we say bullish divergence, your price is moving downwards and your RSI is giving us an upward direction. That means people feel that this is already very cheap. Let's buy some more. And then momentum is starting to build up. That's why it's called the bullish divergence. People are starting to trade or enter the stock. So we have to wait. Let's see if it will form a support in this area. Okay. If it breaks that, then we still have to check again. Okay, guys. Sometimes you can have a very, like this one. From here to here, this is such a long line. Okay, but that's almost 2 months, guys, but your RSI is actually building in momentum for the past 2 months. Okay, so that can potentially happen. That's why you have to pair your indicators. Now what I'm using here is a Bollinger Band and RSI, and of course I pair it with the candlesticks and my support and resistance. So I do not just enter right away. I wait for more bullish signals from all the indicators that I use before I enter. In this one, I have to check. I need to see an engulfing candlestick starting at 779 and landing above that, okay, or much higher than 789. AEV. For AEV, okay, we are now moving above the MA20 level, therefore we'll treat your MA20 line as your support. See, I did not plot it exactly at the area because I had to consider the previous candlesticks. This one in particular, and this one too. Okay, this one also, but it's an area. Okay, but if you want, you can use my line, or you can even plot it at exactly the 50 level. Okay, because it's an area anyway. So if people will take profit because we're very near the short-term resistance here, they might take profit. Okay, they might take profit soon, and then this will rest. Okay, so if it breaks that line tomorrow, then good for us. It is going to face a brand new wave. But if you will see some signs of weakness, then it might go back to 51.04 level. So that's your condition. Wait till you see a little gap up and then trigger the upper band. Then we can say, okay, that's a brand new wave. Otherwise, it will go back here and you can enter around this area. BPI. BPI already started to break that MA20 line. So that's your new support, guys. Previous resistance over here. Previous support over here. Another one here. So yes, so we have some supporting details. Okay. Now this is your possible area of support. Or you can even plot to the exact 89.5 to 89.9. Okay, so that's your area of support. JGS, that's a sign of weakness, so I think it will go back to your support, which was your previous resistance. Check what happens in this area. Okay, so if you have the patience, you can wait and see around 78.96 because that's a shooting star. This type of candlestick is a shooting star, so it might really retrace. Okay, if you have a request, guys, please drop a comment. Okay. JGS, DMC. Okay, this is the bounce for DMC. If you want to enter anywhere from this price to this price is already a good entry price. And you also have some foreign buying, 976.37. Yep. Okay, so just use the 5.26 area as your support. Hi Rhea, welcome to our channel. Yep, I'll check SMPH. Although I mentioned that earlier, but for you, I'll discuss it. Okay, so I mentioned earlier, Rhea, that SMPH will potentially have this movement. Now, your condition is you have to check whether it starts higher than that because we're sitting at a resistance area. And if you see a red candlestick tomorrow or on Monday, it might potentially revisit your previous support. And it's an area, so use your MA20 line as your next possible support there. That is if you see some signs of weakness. But if you have like a gap up, price starting much higher than that, then it might have these probabilities. Go up a little higher and then go back and confirm your support before it moves to another wave. Sometimes it will also have some consolidation within the area before it goes up. Okay, so those are our probabilities. Yes, B core. B core. Okay, so it continued to go up, but this is already a FOMO level. If you have entered in this stock, consider taking profit. Lock in some profit if you like. When I say lock in, partially sell so that you could already have a done deal profit here. Now, I would have to say it is starting to decline in terms of momentum because your movement for the past 2 days is very, very minimal. And actually, that's a doji. Last Thursday's candlestick is a doji. Friday's candlestick looks like a shooting star. And when these patterns show up at the resistance area, chances are it will rest and will go back to maybe your wherever the MA20 lands on that day. That will be a possible area of bounce. So I would have to say I will be very, very careful now with B Corp because this has a history of drastic drop. Look at that. The next, if it will go higher, it might just challenge this 4.49 level because previously that was the resistance here before it drastically dropped. All the efforts made for several days were all gone in one day. See that? Oops. There. This candlestick over here. Right? You're welcome, Rhea. So I hope I was able to somehow give some insights around SMPH and B Corp for you. Let's talk about for Mitch, MPI. Yes, although I mentioned this earlier, let's talk about it again. MPI. Okay, so we said that MPI is starting to show some positive movement because we had somehow a little bit of a bounce, but we said that it's not 100% sure yet because we have not engulfed the bearish Thursday candlestick. Okay, so the goal is to land in the next 3 days, which is Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. The goal there is for at least the 3 candlesticks to engulf, meaning we need to land much higher than this red candlestick's starting price, which is 3.18. Only then we can say we now have a bounce, right? So Monday and Tuesdays will be your critical days. Let's see for MBT. MBT is, for me, this is a resistance. I'd like us to still plot. Okay, so that is your resistance, and I see that your candlestick, look at this. Your blue line, if you can see it, it's starting to point downwards, okay? So I would have to say it might rest, okay? It might continue to decline. Actually, since Thursday, this is already these were your hints, okay? Thursday and Friday's candlestick. It will rest, guys. So if you are already gaining profit, start locking in, start selling some shares, and then wait for it to bounce at a certain areas. First area to check out and monitor would be this area. Next area, this. Okay, so those are the key areas to watch out for, right? So it might drop to 66.22. If it breaks that, its next line is, of course, your 64.26 level. JFC is already a good bounce for us. It's triggering the upper band, and the nearest resistance that we have is 233.07. Now, if it shows, or if we have some red candlesticks that will be formed in the resistance area, then chances are it will go back to your MA20 to create another support. No, actually not that yet. If in case we move up here and then there's a weakness, it will go back in this level first. 218 because we have your support there. Okay, so overall, guys, JFC for me is now really a perfect time for us to start entering. Okay, because the market has given us a chance at a very cheap level. In fact, we are already now reversing, and it's up to you at what level, at what entry price you'd like to enter. And I suggest if you enter in GFC, think of long term. This company has very, very promising future. Its decline most likely has been triggered by all the acquisitions that they had this year, Coffee Bean, and then I forgot there's another one that they acquired, actually several this year, and more on cash outlay, right? Investment, but of course the gains will come out in the coming years. Hi Ericsson, ATN and ISM. Okay, ATN has given us some bounce. Actually, it's still consolidating within the area, but finally we have crossed the MA20 line. Okay, that area. But this is the support, and now we have crossed the MA20 level. So I would have to say we are now starting to gain some momentum on the positive side. We'll see some more movements on the upside in the coming days. And ISM still on a decline, but I mentioned here earlier that we need to watch out watch out for this area, the 3.35 level, because for the past 3 days I've seen a price landing on the same area, so most likely it is currently building a strong support in that level. But if you want to get in, make sure to still execute your stop loss area, okay, so that in case the bearish move is not over yet, you don't have to experience a big negative before this stock price bounces. And I would say that the reason why this bearish movement is happening is because of the backdoor updates, where they added more shares to the public, and the value went down to 1 peso per share. Now if you're in it for long term, guys, this is just a stage. When the third telco becomes operational, then you will see some bullish movements happening soon, but as to how far it will potentially give us profit, we don't know. Okay, but definitely this stock is just a stage. If you have some more funds, just put it aside, and then when you see some confirmation of a reversal or a bounce, that's the time you enter. But for now, 3.35 is still an area to observe and see. We are still trying to check if it is going to really form a support in this level. Okay, so let's continue, and that's for you, Ericsson. I will go back to our other stocks here. We talked about, okay, let's talk about nickel. Chart, view full chart. Okay, that's not mine. I'll load our chart over here. Okay, nickel. Okay, for nickel, it is currently forming a support in this area. Now, if you'd like to enter nickel, I think this is already a good area to do some test buys, because 2.88, you see for several days, you only are moving within a range, doing sideways. You can even put a box here, and they use this as your mini Darvas box. Enter here and then exit here if you see some weakness, okay? But overall, if you are a position trader, enter in this area before it gives us that bounce. Okay, the next. Let's go back. Okay, I normally would filter this and then talk about the highly traded ones. I talked about SMPH, MBT. Let's talk about Meralco. Meralco, I don't see any possible signs because of really crossing MA20 at the moment, because you have some rejection here. In fact, while it's true that we have a green candlestick last Friday, there was a rejection that happened here and it did not sustain. So we'll see and check if I also see a support in this level though, so not very far. So I'm thinking we're just are going to move within the range before this thing goes really up and cross the MA20 line, like this one. Okay, cross and then break the MA20, and then we have a unofficial uptrend. It's not going to be big moves in the coming days. It's just gaining that power. Your RSI is also starting to show some bullish momentum here. See that it's moving in an upward direction, and you have foreign buying, so that's a good sign. Okay, but key area to enter, you're not very far from it. 314.74. Meralco. SM just doing sideways, but overall you're at a very high level. So, and we're just sitting at the MA20 line, so chances are it will rest. And the next key area to check, because it might just go through sideways for now. Just do range trading if you like. Enter in this level, exit in this area when there is weakness, as it might revisit the next possible support, which is your previous resistance, is the 1030.26 level. Okay, so very obvious lines. Support over here, previous resistance. Previous resistance over here will also become your support. SECB. Okay, almost the same pattern as SM. SECB, your possible support is in this area, and let's see if it breaks your MA20 line over here, which is currently acting as your resistance. So if you want to enter in this stock, wait for the market to give you a chance around 195.80 to 196. That's a good entry price. Okay, MEG. Oops. For MEG, it's consolidating within the area. You have some good volume over here, so let's see if it will finally break that. Currently this area is acting as a resistance. This is acting as your resistance, and here as your support. So your call. Would you like to wait for the stock to revisit 4.18, or would you like to wait for it to break out of the 4.40 before you enter? So this is like an area to watch out for. When you have something like that starts above the MA20 line and most of the action happens on the upside, then you have a brand new wave. Otherwise, it will revisit your 4.18 area. Bloom. Bloom, this is a shooting star because your MA20 is acting as your resistance and you have this pattern. That means we were unsuccessful in breaking that MA20 line. So just in case the market continues to go down, it will go down in this level first. Okay, 10.57. However, if the market starts higher than your MA20 line, This is your MA20 line. If there's a gap up that will happen and start here, then you can say we have officially um, broken that resistance area. Okay, just remember your MA20 is currently acting as your resistance. The next is fruit. Allah, fruit. Okay, fruit looks like has reached its bottom. This is an engulfing candlestick. You will have your support in this area. Okay, 1.10. If you want to give it a try, I'd have to say this is a much better area to try it at because we have engulfed. Okay, notice the difference between the four candlesticks, four green candlesticks. Green over here, another green, but you did not engulf the last red candlestick. So that means there's really not much volume and momentum yet. Okay, this one too. It created as actually created a support over here, but the candlestick is so small, and then right the next day there's a breakdown in price. It continued to break. So this one is much promising candlestick compared to the three other candlesticks engulfing the previous red. Okay, we're not seeing the Bollinger Band yet because this has not reached 20 days since the time it started. So we won't see any lines yet. Next, we talk about FGen. FGen is promising, starting to trigger your upper band here. So the next, in case some people will take profit, it will just drop up to this level. Okay, chances are it will just drop up to this level before it goes up again. Double Dragon starting to show some signs that it will cross your MA20 line. So let's use that. 19.28 is your possible support. 19.28, 19.26, that's fine. That's your support at the moment. Okay, let's see if it will just revisit and consolidate within the area. But if the price breaks, then we'll see, and definitely we'll talk about it again when we review the market movements in the coming days and weeks. Okay, but definitely looking at it right now, it's 19.29. 19.29. That's the support that we are seeing. 40.50. Pure gold. Good move for pure gold. And that's a 2.66 jump. Some people might take profit. So watch. This may have caused a significant increase. December 20 is the X date. There's a 20-cent dividend play here. So just use this MA20 line as your support, everyone. Okay, 39.71. Did we talk about now? Okay, it's starting to show some positive moves, but take note, your red candlestick here is still very far. So the objective is in the next 3 days, which is day 1, day 2 over here. On Monday, we should be engulfing this. Okay, for us to say that, okay, there's a big chance that it might next cross your MA20 line, but there are so many roadblocks here. Actually, when this price hits above, let's say on Monday, it ends around 2.80, okay, which is engulfing this red. The next thing it will challenge will be your resistance, which is very, very close. So you really have to watch the market, otherwise you might see something like this again. Okay, this is a sign of weakness, rejecting at the MA20 level. You have X still consolidating within the area. Hopefully it does not break that, but if we have price ending much lower than that, then that's what we call a breakdown in price, and you might see some more movements downward. east west. East west is currently, we currently have a resistance in this area. Okay, for east west, and the support in this area. So probably you can just do range trading here. 13.07 for your resistance and 12.72, yeah, for your support. So be extra careful because currently you have a resistance here. Alright, resistance here as well, and this is a bearish candlestick. That's what you call when this comes out at the resistance area. That is a sign of weakness. That's a shooting star. Shooting star, even if it's color green. IRC. IRC is still respecting your resistance, which is your MA20 line. So you might have some more red days, but you need to watch out and see if you have a support at the 1.25 level. Let us see if it will sustain that support. Okay, let's see if it will recreate a support in that area. 1.25, right? What else? ABA, no movement, only 90 trades. Okay, green, we're very far. I plotted this a long time ago. Remove. So the next thing that it will challenge is, of course, we have to surpass your MA20 line. Okay, but you have a bullish candlestick. But this stock has a history of an overshoot, which means it went up a little higher, but it did not sustain. So we really need more volume for this stock, meaning more trades. Okay, we only have 129 right now. So if you want to check and be very conservative, you're already at a higher low here when it dips, but when it dipped second time around, it's much higher. So that means there's a big chance that it might continue to go up. But if you want, just use this as your support, this area as your support, because some people might take profit and then it will give you a chance. Okay, let's see how's everyone so far. Any other requests, guys? If you have questions, feel free to drop a question as well, and I can answer that for you. If I do not have the answer, I will show you the right resource where you can get the answer. Okay, so also if you would like to copy my best practice, the reason why I do this every day is really also from my own learning. I review the stocks that we have, and then right after the market closes, I go back to that stock, or I go back to that video and I review that once again, just to validate whether our analysis is correct or not. And if you see patterns of high accuracy, just follow those um, insights, and you can apply that in your own trades as well. So also, if you have some good stories to tell, probably you were able to execute some advices that we have and resulted into a good profit for you. Maybe you can also drop a comment and let me know your thoughts. I just, it feels good if somehow in my own little way I am impacting other people, and especially in their journey here, because previously I personally didn't really have a mentor. I just used YouTube and Facebook. I used to be very active in social media groups, but I realized that not a lot of people there are really solid or genuine in helping people. Okay, they're just there to hype a particular stock only because they have already entered the stock. And sometimes when you post a question, those people who are already advanced or who are already expert at this, they mock people who are asking questions. So I started to, detach myself from these groups and just focus on, being technical about things. And mind you guys, whatever we're doing is just 30% or 50% of the equation. This is technical analysis, and you also have your assignment to check the news, because whatever the patterns that technical analysis suggests, sometimes everything is negated by a sudden news or a catalyst or whatever bad news that we have for a particular stock. That is why you see some drastic drops, even if you see on the technicals that it's already bullish. So balance it out, this being the technical, and then of course read the news for our fundamental analysis. PSE Edge, try to search for that. All the announcements that you have for any particular stock, they're all posted there. Even the dividends, even the suspended ones, they're all posted there. Okay. Um, have I missed any stock that you have right now? So let's try to continue. Okay, so for those people who are not yet invested, just go with the flow. Just analyze the thought process that I have, and you can even do virtual trades. Did you know that? Using Investagrams, there's what we call trading grounds. That means you can practice your trading using the same portal. And oh, they have a new look. It's been a while. Okay, so I have not played with this for a few weeks now. So even if it's a weekend, you can practice trading. Okay, let's see this. Indicators. Show lines. Oh, okay. Not that kind of line. Don't show lines. Okay, I only use Bollinger Band. Let's remove this, and let's change the color of this. Change the color to blue. No. So we can see it. Okay. And then the width. Okay. And then we add one more, RSI. So that's how you do it. This is just showing you guys how we can practice trading even on weekends. And then start practice. And next day. Okay, let's say we buy that. Next day, sell, cut loss. Next day, okay, we buy. Next day, can't see. Okay, where did we enter? Here. Next day. You cannot buy again. Okay, it's trying to create a support in this level. Resistance. So we are just basically playing and using virtual platform. We are able to practice what. Let's see. Next day. Next day. Sell. Next day. Resistance. There's no shorting here, so I cannot short this. Resistance, 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 breaks down, more downward movements. Okay, let's see, let's try that. Next day, sell. Next day, it's creating a support in this level. Next day, buy. Okay, hopefully it breaks that to the upside. We bought it at 73.8. Oh, sell. Breaks our support. Next day. Let's buy that. Next day, moves up. Goes back. Confirms the support. Okay. Alright. Triggers the upper band. Did not sustain. Moves on the upside again. So this is how many percent? This is where we entered. Let's see. Let's sell that. Next day. Let's see, move this. Next day. Let's try that. So this is very simple, guys. Okay, take profit. How many percent? 2%. Okay, sell. So let me know if you find this interesting. Have you even explored this? Um, the first time they launched this, I think I tried playing with it, but um, it's been a while. The interface has changed. I would say this looks good actually. You can change the background to, what's the background? Mine is black. You can change it to red if you like. What happened? Background, just go for white. There are grid lines. I don't like grid lines. You can remove that. Oh, I just don't want to show it. I forgot what color it was. Never mind. So let's It's more confusing to see the lines, no? Scales, background. Never mind, that's fine. You can just set it up according to how you like to display it. Okay, next day. Where is it? Okay. End game. Or you can play again. Okay, next day. Oh! What happened? We lost the candlesticks. What did I do? Okay, there. Okay, so we are currently here. Next day, still going down, going down. We're not entering yet. Okay, let's try entering now. It moved up, did not sustain. Let's sell. Next day. So while it's true that it's, it's fun and it really exercises your brain muscles when you do virtual trade. One thing I don't like is the ability to really enhance your emotional condition, because when you are doing virtual trades, you know that it's not your money, so you can just be very impulsive with your next moves. That's why, like right now, I can easily enter and exit, but how sure am I that when it's now a real trade, I can easily exit when I'm already on a negative, right? Okay, so there you have it, guys. I'm just giving you some ways on how you can explore your different venues to practice and enhance your skill in the area of trading. So this is Investograms. And how did I get here? For those people who just entered and joined us now, I'll just go back to the main page. Okay, let me end the game first. It's not allowing me. Okay, so it is currently not moving. Okay. Anyway, so there you have it, guys. Just go to Instagrams, and go to trading ground, I mean, and it will route you on this page. Okay. In the meantime, because my screen is no longer moving, I think I have to say goodbye for now. I'll take my lunch. I'm currently in Singapore. I don't know which area to buy my lunch right now because it's raining, so I might just have to go downstairs and check uh, nearby places where I can just have where I just need to walk and don't ride anything, and I just feel so lazy because it's so um, the roads are wet because it's raining currently in the area. So have a great afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me. We managed to stay for 1 hour and 30 minutes doing practice, but at least we have been so productive. Another episode of great learnings, and hopefully, you can also share our videos to your trading groups, your walls, your timelines, and please do subscribe to Miss JD here in our YouTube. At the same time, also in our uh, Facebook page, we are invest in the stock market. So those are the two areas we always visit. And also, it would be great if you can help us grow our YouTube channel. We're currently, I don't know, how many subscribers do we have now? Let's check. 397 subscribers right now. So, yeah, slowly but surely, what's important is we enjoy whatever we're doing here. If we reach 1,000 subscribers, that's going to be a bonus, right? So, in the meantime, good afternoon and thank you guys for joining me. Bye bye for now.